Welcome back to part 2 of our interview with Jay Conklin, where he tells us the importance of finding your why and the 3 criteria for what to say yes to. Keep it right here because part 2 is coming at you.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performance Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. Want to dig into some more about you as an entrepreneur. You know, you made it very clear that you are setting up your business so you do the things that you really enjoy. You know, and I always say to everyone that if you want to become ultra successful in anything that you do, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your health, whether it's your business, you've got to be very careful of what you say yes to. And your default really needs to be, no, that's not in alignment with who I am or what I'm doing. How do you determine what you say yes to?
Let me first by answering that question with one of the best books that I have ever read on the planet. In fact, my students that come into my Platinum program, I give it to them for free because it's such a powerful book. And I just came across this book about 3 years ago. It's actually written by someone from the standpoint of someone that's in multi-level marketing, but really, it transcends any business that you're in. And here's the name of the book. I apologize, I can't think of the name of the author, but there's only one of these books out there with this title. Thor, you've probably heard of it. The name of the book is The Power of No. And you just look that up on Amazon, and it's a really thin paperback book. I mean, it's like 10 or 11 bucks. And hey, let me tell you, that's the cheapest 10 or 11 bucks anybody could ever spend. Trust me.
I love it.
Oh, it's awesome.
I don't know if I have that in my library, and I've got thousands of books, but here's the thing. It doesn't matter that it's in my library because it's not ringing a bell, and I certainly can't tell you what's in it. So it doesn't count unless I know what's in it. So I've made a note, and I'm going to see if I have it. If not, I'm going to order that. Thank you.
Hey, let me tell you, Thor, you and your listeners can literally read that book in about 90 minutes, and it has got the power to transform your listeners' lives, I'm telling you. So you're right. The key is, be quicker to say no than yes, because a lot of people have got a problem saying no, right? Hey, look, I created the shiny object syndrome. I've got the syndrome, all right? I was born with it. So I have to be very, very careful about what I choose. Now, let me also answer your question this way as well. How do I decide to say what yes to and what to say no to? I have been guilty in the past. I'm not guilty anymore. Haven't been in a while. Learned my lesson. But I've been guilty in the past, Thor, of when an opportunity would come along, and we all have opportunities come along to make money, all right? So here's what I discovered in my experience, and that is any opportunity that I have become involved in or engaged in or with, and my primary motivation was to make a boatload of money, I failed.
Okay? Where were you 9 years ago? I needed that advice.
I failed miserably every single time. And, I mean, here's the deal. Yeah, money is a fantastic barometer. Money's a great measurement as to how successful you are as far as the checkbook goes. But money, in my life at least, cannot be the main and primary motivator. And don't get me wrong. I like to have a lot of money coming in, but here's what's really important. What is your why? W-H-Y, why. What is your purpose? What is it that motivates you to get you up out of bed in the morning, right? What are you passionate about? So why has this world of real estate investing been such a passionate thing to me? For one thing, I'm a creator, right? And all of us are creators, by the way, made in the image of God. But I love to use my creative juices. Have been all my life. I write and record piano music. My music's made it into film scores at Universal Studios. I write Christian music, for spiritual songs. So I've had this creative juice. Well, buying a house that is, there's different kinds of real estate investing. There's the pretty house business where you don't have to do anything to it, right? Then there's the ugly house business. I love that creative process of looking at something that other people can't see what it could be, and turning that lemon into some just wonderful tasting lemonade and being absolutely beautiful. And that creative process. Now, I do have that piece of my business automated to where I only now go into a house before I buy it if I'm in town. I do 35 live events across the nation a year, training and inspiring, teaching real estate investors. But if I'm in town and my team hasn't had to take pictures and, send me some reports, I love going into the house and looking at it before we start. I don't go back until that house is totally finished, staged, and ready for Southern Living magazine pictures. I want that wow effect because I want to see what a potential buyer of my houses might be saying or feeling. See, people don't buy on what they see. They buy on how it makes them feel, okay? So how's this making me feel? So how do I decide on what's no and yes? So I don't want to be involved in anything unless I can be passionate about it. And along with that, that's why Carol Joy and I are so passionate about what we do all across the nation with other real estate investors. I'm passionate about teaching and sharing with other people for them to learn how we do the business, how we automate the business, and how we get all the funding for our business. So that was a long answer to your question, Thor, but the answer to your question, how do I decide on what to say no to and what to say yes to? Really, there's three criteria on saying yes to any business endeavor. Number one, can I get excited about it and passionate about it as far as what's being delivered on the other end to the consumer, right? Number two, can it make me a lot of money? Now, let's talk about that for a moment. Here is a huge thing, Thor, that I learned within 5 years ago, and that is, and this is such a huge concept, people, when I say can it be automated and making a lot of money, here's what I mean by that, and here's what I learned. Whenever I'm doing an activity that I can pay somebody else to do for X number of dollars, when I'm doing that activity, that's how much I'm earning per hour that I could pay somebody else. So if I'm on the phone with a motivated seller filling out a property lead sheet, and I can pay somebody else $15 an hour to do that activity, I'm earning $15 an hour myself if I'm doing that activity. So be very, very aware of what you're doing with your time. And can that be outsourced? The definition of automation is either technology does it or somebody else does it. So what do I say yes and no to? Can I be passionate and excited about it? Can it bring me in a lot of revenue? And number three, can the entire system be automated through technology or other people on the team? And then I watch it and manage it and continue to tweak it and make decisions.
I want to say one thing on the technology side and outsourcing things. And this is just my perception, so you can correct me if I'm wrong about this. I sense from talking to you that you love people. You like working with people. And my sense is that if your students have a question, they're not going to get an autoresponder with the answer. They're going to get someone that's going to answer that for them. Is that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, go. That's true. Yes, yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, because so often, so many of these new entrepreneurs are trying to set up everything where everything's automated, including the, hey, I need help with something, and here's your autoresponder coming back because it knows what's in the subject line. And I think that's a big mistake in business today.
Yeah, I agree. No, we don't service our clients and our real estate investors that come to us for coaching and training. It's hands-on directly with us, with me, with my team. I mean, so many of my colleagues that teach real estate investing, I mean, they don't even show up themselves to the events to do the teaching. It's like, hey, where is so-and-so that I thought I was going to meet and learn from? There's somebody else there. And I don't do that. As I said, Carol, Joy, and I, we do about 35 live events a year across the nation. And it's me personally that's doing the teaching. And what makes that different too, Thor, is that I don't regurgitate or teach what I learned or heard from somebody else. I'm teaching exactly what we do in the business ourselves. And yes, when our customers and, coaching clients have a question, they call right into my office, and they're either talking to me directly, getting their questions answered, or talking to someone right there, one of my coaches that's just, one door down the hallway from me. Yeah, we're very, very hands-on when it comes to teaching people.
Yeah, that was definitely my sense. You've told me a lot about your strengths. What's a weakness that you have?
Well,
just
there was
one
big, there was one big weakness right there. Well, I'll give you two that I had, and then I'll tell you one that I have.
Okay.
What I had was, prior to learning the automation and delegating, I wanted to do everything myself. And I tell you, folks, you can't do this business by yourself. I mean, and make any kind of significant money. For example, Thor, sometimes I'll have my students say, Jay, I just love rehabbing my own houses because it's like therapy to me. And I'll look at them and I'll say, I'm sorry, but I just had to share this with you. I've learned from experience, anybody who wants to rehab their own house needs therapy. Okay? Needs therapy. So one of my weaknesses today, and here it is, I'll be totally transparent. I love so much at what I do in teaching and training other real estate investors to be successful. I still lack as much of a balance in my life as I would like to enjoy. My wife and I are very, very involved in the church that we go to. We're there 3 times a week when I'm in town. I'm in town most of the time on Sundays on purpose so I can be there. And as you said, I love people. We love entertaining. We love having people over. But being a workaholic in the areas that I'm passionate about, I'm still working through. So, hey, refer me a coach that can help me with that.
I don't know. I'm kind of seeing you as a teachaholic, not a workaholic.
Well, I am. I mean, it's really hard for me to call myself a workaholic because my work is my passion. I mean, it's just what I do. Yeah. I am a teachaholic. I mean, every once in a while, people that don't know me very well, they'll say, well, when do you plan on retiring? I say, retiring? What would I do? I don't play golf. I'm certainly not going to sit around the house. I do enjoy myself, but I do get bored of myself rather quickly. I already know me. I want to learn something about somebody else. So, I mean, I plan on being on stage or on the telephone teaching and inspiring other people into my 90s. In fact, there's a very good friend of mine who is now 91 years old. He's been on the platform teaching real estate investors since the late 50s, and he has not slowed down yet. That's going to be me if I've got a boat in the situation.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I spend probably 4 weeks a year traveling, doing some work with a very large motivational speaker, and I just love doing it. I pay my own way. I train his groups, and people say, why do you do that? Why would you ever do that? I said, the opportunity to work with people, the opportunity to dig into what they're doing, to help their businesses, to help them in all aspects of their life. I mean, why would you not do that?
Absolutely. I mean, when I'm teaching or I'm engaged with other people that are like-minded and they want to be doing the same thing, I mean, it's like, you're just getting energy and synergy off of each other. Like at my live events, oh my lands, talk about energy and synergy. That's what it's all about for, about 12 hours a day for 3 days in a row.
Yeah. I do the same thing. I throw a live event once a year, and I tell you, I'm great until right at the end. Then as soon as it's over, it's like, oh my God, I need like a day's worth of rest.
I know what you mean. Well, man, I can tell, Thor. I mean, no doubt you are a peak performer yourself. So my lands. Now I want to come to your event.
All right, I love it. Who's holding you accountable? Many will answer, myself. Well, that only goes so far. You'll do more for others than you'll do for yourself. If you're not getting the results that you want, need, and desire, it comes down to your accountability. If you're ready to stop dabbling and really play full out, head on over to thorconklin.com and under services, check out our real accountability system. This is not for the timid or weak of heart. This is only for those individuals that are truly committed to taking their game to the next level.
Be on the lookout for part 3 of our interview with Jay, where he tells us the 3 Ds of successful entrepreneurs and how to start your day off with the right mindset. I'll see you guys on the next edition of Peak Performers Podcast.